No, don't fall off. How's it gonna work? Hold on. Let me close off everything. Two. Stream's not just up. Stream's not up just yet, but when. In the meantime, listen to some Sonic music. Let's make sure that it's not bleeding through my mic. Oh, that's perfect. Oh wait, the drop is bleeding into my mic. All this serene house stuff is fine, but then I just noticed the bass was just fucking me up. Best cyberspace level. Best cyberspace fun for sure.
I'm here to go beyond my limit, not to compromise. And you can tell me if I mean it, looking in my eyes. Cause I've been waiting for my moment to strike. So come close, let me show you what it's like. Yeah, you can try to stand in my path, but you're gonna regret it. I'll be the one who laughs last while I'm making my exit. Cause this is only for the strong of heart, not if you get it. And no matter what the outcome, you better accept it. I can cut like the shell, I can bury the pain. So no doubt for a second, just get out of my way. Push it in yourself, I'm not letting it go. So take this as a lesson, cause it's all that we know. Will the whole world know your name? When we dance with destiny. I've been there and I've seen it. I'm never gonna stop believing. You'll find your flame. Oh, we can save the day, not die. It's like I'm seeing double vision. Take a seat, I'm on a mission. We got everything to gain. Yeah. To become everything you're not. You just give it all you got and take the pleasure with the pain. Yeah, I can feel my fire awaken. No time for being complacent. There's a dream on the horizon. You know we gotta chase it. And when we get to where we're going, then we start the invasion. That's me? Now you must be mistaken. You know I'll turn you into rocks. Grind you right down to dust. You thought you were the best. Well, you haven't met us. Fire and rain, call me the hurricane. I'm not letting it go. Will the whole world know your name? When we dance with destiny. I've been there and I've seen it. I'm never gonna stop believing. You'll find your flame. Now here we go, it's the end of the show. Hear them, they're calling your name. Cause in the end, it's you and your friends. You'll find your flame. Now here we go, it's the end of the show. Hear them, they're calling your name. Cause in the end, it's you and your friends. You'll find your flame.
Oh yeah, the best track. People are talking about, you know what, I'm kind of too into this, like. I just had to hear that one line. I just had to hear that one line from that one song. Alright, let's get... Oh! Yeah, hold on, I'm feeling it. Put it on... I'll be theater. Just to keep chat going on. This chat's fun. Damn, dude. Ooh. This is the new music for season 2? Liking their music, honestly. Like whether it's like you just whether you're launching in and you're just like track do you find near around the map? Oh, we're almost here. We're almost about to find out what did it get nerd. Proximity chat. Oh my god. I don't know about proximity chat. Oh, music cut out. Yo, what's up, Chaz? We about to watch the new season premiere. The new season preview. Damn, Jim, you 8-foot cable, you're drunk, spraying me. Bet you didn't feel it.
Welcome to another Rumbleverse developer stream. Before the launch of Season 2 tomorrow, you're invited to a guided tour of what's about to change in the game. We now take you live to Grappital City with your hosts from the Iron Galaxy development team, lead designer Adam Hart and community manager Keenan Morales.
Yeah, what's up, everyone?
Hey, let's go.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Friendly reminder, you are all encouraged to restream. We will be going over all of the new content releasing tomorrow. We will then be doing a deep dive on select balance changes and bug fixes. The full patch notes will be available tomorrow and will include a number of things we do not cover on stream today. Again, I'm Keenan, or Keyman45. I'm your community manager. I'm the dude that absorbs all of your feedback on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, everywhere on social media, and shares it with our developer team. I'm going to pass it over to Adam.
Hi, I am Adam Hart. I am the lead designer on Rumbleverse, and you can find me on Twitter at @thekeits, Keits. It's probably somewhere on the screen. Yeah, it's on the screen. Cool.
It's on the screen.
But I don't know. That place is a hellscape. Maybe you don't go there. So we got you right here on Twitch, and we have a lot to talk about. So we want to jump into it pretty quickly here. We're going to give you a full tour of
Let's fucking go.
Everything that's dropping tomorrow, like Keenan said, and a select number of the balance changes, but there's quite a few more you'll learn about tomorrow in the full patch notes. So yeah, there we are. You want to jump straight into it?
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right. So first up, a traversal ability, the pole swing.
Yes.
Yeah, let's start with the pole swing because we want to use it as we traverse around. Please, viewers at home, note we have infinite stamina on at the moment, so you won't see this going down, but trust me, the pole swing does cost stamina. So all you need to do is approach a pole. These are all over Grappital City as well as Loki Key, and you'll see
let's go
press interact to swing, and you tap it and you swing, and then your character will fly away. But if you hold the button, you'll swing longer, so you can continue to swing for as long as you like, until you run out of stamina. Of course, I have infinite on at the moment, and this has power priority. Yes, multiple people can be on the same pole as once.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun getting around this fucking game now.
You can kind of aim the movement however you want. So I'm going to aim kind of to the right. I'll fly to the right. I got kicked by Keenan, and oh boy, we're off to a good start here.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic.
Solid launch.
I'll come back up here. But if you are on a mouse and keyboard, and you're going to find kind of aiming your release direction a little harder because you got to use WASD. And in that case, you can let go of all directions, and it will go the way the camera's facing. So I can just aim the camera straight at Keenan, let go, and I'll always fly that way as long as you're not holding a direction. So that's a good thing to note if you're a mouse and keyboard player. Yeah, so I think that's the horizontal swing. There's also a vertical swing. Let's see if we can bounce up to the top of one of these poles. This is a good spot. Look, there's the
oh my god, bro, the bridge is open.
What's a
The
good spot?
bridge
Where's
is
a good spot?
open. It's fixed.
All right, so if you find a horizontal pole, you can also do this kind of swing off of it.
Oh my god, bro.
You know, you can do your air dodge boosts and all that stuff out of there. If
Oh
you air
my
dodge, you can kind
God.
of grab a pole out of the air dodge, just like you could grab a wall. But there is a bug currently where after the air dodge, while you're falling, you will be able to grab a wall, but not a pole. We will get that fixed for you as well in the next content update. So that's pole swinging. And you've probably noticed there's Grappital City. There's Low Key Key.
Jesus,
Right there. I'm going to open the map for you real quick, just so you can get an idea.
It's
of the size of this thing. Low
huge.
Key is pretty substantial. It's about 2/3 the size of Grappital City. It's got a lot of playable water space, so it's even quite a bit bigger than it seems, and has a lot of really cool, unique feeling areas to visit. So our next item up here during the stream is going to be a full tour of this place, and that's really why I have the infinite stamina on, so I can move around a little faster, and this won't take forever. Keenan, you want to talk us through some of these areas as we walk?
Yeah, so this is Low Key, where it's off season forever. To give a little lore breakdown, the Department of Destinations and Tourism, short for DDT, won a piece of Grappital City's world-class rumble. They've tied their island to powerful tugboats, dragged it across the ocean, and docked it on the east coast of Grappital City. What do adventures await in this ancient paradise? Let's head on over, adventure the island, and find out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we had a question from Reddit before we get started. Do you want to?
Yeah. So, question from Reddit, thanks to BirdLad69. Are we going to have to get lucky to be able to play in the new area? We're hoping that the rings pulls to it. Or will we get a brief period where it's always over there to explore everything?
It's a great question. You will get to play over here quite a lot. So at least for the first month or so of season 2, 80% of the rings are going to be on the Low Key side. Some of them will cross over both sides and force you to cross this river that has been created by the arrival of Low Key during a match, which is very precarious. 20% of the rings will be on Grappital City side, and every single one of those rings is brand new. So those are all brand new Final Ring locations in the Grappital City
new
side.
rings?
And then over the course of the season, we're going to make some updates to try and even that out a little bit. But for now, you'll get to experience mostly Low Key with some new locations on the Grappital side. So let's do the tour.
Yeah.
All right. So we come across the bridge. We can see down below us, very dangerous river area has been created. There's a shark in there too.
There's a shark.
You can
I mean,
see
it doesn't really matter. We died in the water anyways.
There's one up here.
The
that
shark
is
is just
as well.
we feed it.
And there's quite a few springs you can use to cross, or you'll have to platform across these boats. Yes, these boats have collision, so you don't have to worry about falling through them. There's a spring down that way.
Can we
well,
elbow drop the shark?
And as you finish crossing the bridge here, you kind of arrive at the Welcome Center, which I was showing you a moment ago. Jericho's End of the Road Rentals. This is where people visiting the island will rent their little golf carts and get around this place. Not really a lot of cars here. But what I am standing on right now is actually quite a tall parking garage, which is a pretty cool place to do some early looting because it has quite a few levels to it, and a lot of loot will fall here. So from there, I want to move south into our coastal city. This is Rivera Botanica.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of go past this awesome Kraken door that leads into the bottom of the volcano. Who knows what's in there?
Can we open that door?
Suspicious. This area is gorgeous. It has all these beautiful homes, and it is, I think, my favorite area of all the new areas to play in. The final rings here are really interesting because there's just a lot of kind of boxiness and ways to break sight lines in this area. There's a lot of kind of these types of platforms that you can see through the bottom of. There's some really interesting shapes in here that just make for some awesome final rings, like this thing right here. Had final rings over here where there's a lot of pole swinging.
You can swing on the trees too? Really cool shit. George of the Jungle ass
area. So I'm a huge fan. This is probably my #1 favorite area of the new island. And you should watch out for chairs like these because they are bouncy and you can walk straight onto them and bounce.
Oh, you could just walk on
pretty
that.
Chaotic.
Okay, cool.
That one's for all my bounce pad fans. I know you guys are out there.
Love me some bounce pads.
So moving on, we get to the Salt Street Marina. This is, I mean, water everywhere, right? We got some more poles over here that you can swing on, and these actually let you do a vertical or a horizontal swing as well, which is awesome.
Oh God.
And lots of playable boats to check out. Promise they have collision. You can trust me. And I'm going to show you why you might want to come here. So first of all, we got Mr. Sweetie's ice cream. This thing is terrifying. It's got the darkness inside the mouth. But as you approach, that will fade and you'll be able to go inside.
Oh, that's so cool.
You can see there's water on every side of this place. But underneath Mr. Sweetie's, we got 3 vending machines.
Yeah, come in.
We got energy, we got magazine, and we got weapons. That's nice. That's a nice start. But if you want a great start, and you're really brave,
reacting to.
You're gonna
Rumbles.
They're already showing it. Yeah.
is 3 Moosel's vending machines for a full super meter if you're uncontested. And
Oh my god, there's so many There's so
Teapot
many,
vendors
bro.
here to get your game started just right.
There's
So
so
if you're willing
many.
to come up here and risk it, I think you're gonna be off to the best possible start. Got some more pole swinging to do. I'm gonna climb all the way to the top. Some good loot will drop up here too on the cookies.
Bro, dude, they have a fucking area that has like 3 Moosel machines and like a whole like 7 protein powder machines.
Cutting up through the middle and the lava dome. Kind of see where we've come from so far, and we'll make our way down.
I can choose some money for you or EBT.
Let's see if I can negate fall damage by grabbing this pole, or if I will die.
You just need my card.
I missed, but that is possible. You can negate fall damage by grabbing a pole.
As long as you don't fall in the water.
I nailed it in practice. In the practice run, so of course I didn't nail it when we were live.
Yeah, I want to watch this first. We'll eat
All
after
right,
that.
so we're moving over here to the backside of the Off Seasons Resort. This area is really fun. It's probably going to be Tupperware's favorite area because it has a lot of these that you are going to bounce off of constantly. So if you're a bounce pad fan, you're going to love it. We got this awesome lazy river. We have quite a few pools, lots of bouncy objects. This duck makes a great noise when you bounce on them. There's even a ton
swinging on everything, bro.
And if you pop up
the
top
pole swing
here,
is going to be such a
it's actually a grease pool, so you can cover yourself in oil and throw yourself into a frying pan if you want to get a nice tan. And just ignore the human bones in there. I'm sure nothing nefarious is going on at all. Totally fine. So now I'm going to move underneath the Off Seasons Resort. This area is very tall, has a lot of verticality to it. So I'm going to start platforming up to the top from the inside. And as you make it to the middle, you have this awesome scaffolding area that has a lot of see-through floors as well. You can make it up to the diving board if you want to pester the people who are in the pool below you.
Oh my god.
I'm going to keep heading up to the monorail station here.
There's going to be so many elbow drops on this area, bro.
Climb over this ledge. All right. Making our way up. There's a couple tunnels here that lead to the outside. There's some interesting platforming over that way as well. Whoops. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, they did. Hope they fixed climbing. They did not fix climbing, guys. I'm sorry to say.
You can jump. You can wait. What?
So we'll make our way across.
Jump while climbing
and
oh yeah. No, that was a
mid-season
update.
We can see how high up we've actually gone. Pretty far. You can see the Salt Street Marina again. And if you look behind the resort, you're going to see the lava dome.
Basically.
And this is actually how resort guests get to the lava dome. They come up top, and then they can just leave through the back and come straight to the lava dome to see all their cool arena events.
Oh, the lava dome!
I'm not going to go in the lava dome just yet. I want to go around front and show you.
Oh, they're not going to show it off today.
These clams also are bouncy, which is awesome. I just like that a lot.
Oh, you can bounce off clams.
All right, so we're going to get to the front, and this volcano is not active, but it is still kind of warm. So you can see it's created a hot spring. And if you notice underneath my health bar, I've gotten a buff
it gives them stam
into this hot spring.
That's a stam pool.
That's
a stam hot spring.
30 seconds after I leave it, and while
the fountain of youth.
Permanent stamina buff. So if you ever have a final ring here, you're gonna have a lot of stamina fighting in that water, and that really changes the dynamic.
Oh my god!
A quick question, Adam. If I jump right back in, does it immediately?
Everybody's not gonna be running out of stamina. You're not gonna be stamina breaking anyone in that.
Ooh, nice.
Got my stamina back. I have infinite now, but that's gonna cheat. All right, so we got the lava dome. We're gonna head straight into the front door. This
unless you got like straight up like sumo slap fucking like 4 sumo slaps in a row on someone.
Just amazing. Absolutely enormous. It's a jumbotron up top. It's going to show you, who's winning the game. There's several levels of action. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So at the bottom, you can see the lava is hardened and not dangerous to you. Maybe someday it will be.
Maybe someday it will.
The future is unpredictable.
Maybe they'll put it in as an
obstacles
update.
in here to
like,
find.
Oh yeah, don't get tossed off the side now.
Find lots of little platforming paths.
Don't get swung into this place.
Nice platform in the middle. If you want to have some duels in playground mode, this is a great place to have a duel because it's got some pretty defined edges to it. So if you're kind of sick of duels in the gazebo gone, you can try this spot. I'm going to work my way up a little higher here. Do some pulsing. Whoa, I messed it up. Of course I did. Okay. Taking a shortcut. Sorry. There we go. Messed up my pulsing. But I made it to the top. This is the upper level. Lots to do up here, especially considering there's 2 vendors. There's actually a Squatch Chicken up here. And across, there's a Machos Nachos vendor.
Oh, the Macho Nachos.
A little bit. And you can also go
so
to
basically,
the roof,
it's going to be like chicken,
except
you can just
most
like take a bite.
Arrive up here first.
It's just going to be chicken that doesn't take like 3 years to
not uncommon for 15 players to land here and for them to have enough room to not even bother each other. It is that big. So look forward to the lava dome, and Got pretty good views of the whole island from up here, but a lot of it is out of elbow drop range. So you'll have to be a little bit more choosy about where you elbow drop from, and it's not as dangerous around the border as it might seem at first glance. So we'll pop down the back. We got the ticket booth back here, and we have the monorail station where people would be dropped off.
Does the monorail move?
Go ahead and leap all the way down.
I am going to be having so much fun with that.
Seems like a sticky
swing.
situation where if there's like a final ring along the mountain of the lava dome, might be tough to get back up.
Yeah. A lot of ring outs happen there for disqualification. People get thrown off and they can't make it back up. But there are a lot of springs and ledges, so if you're good and you know the area, you'll find your way back up pretty fast. That's a good note, Keenan.
Yeah.
All right, so
positioning would be key.
Yeah, absolutely. We've made it to the back here. This area is called Tentacle Cove. It's kind of the old docks area. It's a little bit run down. There's some shipwrecks here to play on. A lot of garbage on the ground, and it's not in the best shape.
Assuming that
it
looks like you could step off until you get to
this water.
The buoys.
Is dangerous past the buoys, so you can see a pretty steep drop off. Just don't go past the buoys. If somebody is trying to throw you out, maybe the buoy will save your life and you'll get lucky. But keep that in mind that most of this water is actually playable space. Right now? So we'll kind of move through the old docks. This is my second favorite new area. I really like it here. It doesn't have a ton of verticality, but it has all of these bridges that have totally empty space underneath for you to do really interesting movement patterns to lose people or approach people.
No, this doesn't come out until tomorrow.
I really enjoy fighting over here. So this quickly
this is the first point where we get to see so much of it.
It does have this crane as well. If you're close to that, you might have a little bit of heights here. I'll jump up and check that out.
Send in my Twitter. It's
a pretty nice view from up here as well. You can see this ship actually sticks out past the buoy line. So if you're coming out here, you want to be really careful.
Ooh.
And if you're really, really brave, maybe you'll do a little meditating in a spot like this.
Holy shit!
Something at you. Because, then
you're just begging.
So
we'll what up, Salt?
Continue our way down the beach to a beach town called the Breaks.
Because he's just that ginger.
Store. I wonder what that's about. We'll probably never know. Let's move on. So we're at the Breaks. We got all these awesome balloons flying above all these beautiful houses. Just a place where people live on the beach forever.
Oh yeah, you've been following me since I've known you.
And you can go under these houses. There's a lot of kind of fences that you can see through.
Yeah.
But not fight through.
Dude, being on those fucking like outside buoys, you're just begging to get a chocolate thrown at you.
Really, really fun area to play in as well. And lots of open beach.
No, chocolate is like they're gonna have like a new weapon that you can throw, and it's gonna have like way better tracking than most.
The backside is past the buoys.
Yeah,
and you can see there's a rocky structure over here that's also out past the buoys that is pretty dangerous. If you get a final ring there, you're gonna be having some excitement for sure. There's Keenan. Hello. And then the last area I want to show you, but certainly not the least, is our sea caves area called Enigma Gardens. It's a beautiful cave with cool refractions on the ceilings. There's a lot of artifacts here, a lot of Rumbleverse history. I just saw a swordfish jump in the distance, and that was cool as hell too. So we'll jump up here to the front and get a nice view of this from the sacrificial altar, I guess.
Sacrificial altar? Oh god.
There we go. We've got the seahorn up top. If you blow that, you can actually give yourself a buff for 60 seconds of strength. And I'm going to head straight into the front entrance to check that out. Excuse me. You can see there's a lot going on in here. They appear to be excavating this place, so Rumble scholars and archaeologists are trying to learn more about the past. Got this awesome big statue dude getting poured water from these cherubs. There's a lot of caves in here too to explore. There's one back here. There's a couple on the side over here. You can go
caves. Down. We need some more caves. I love the sewer system underneath the estates.
The top,
I love that
these vines. You're going to find a lot of these trees that you actually can't climb. You can't climb these at all, but you can see through them really well. So they make for some interesting gameplay. You can climb the leafy parts at the top, so getting up here can create an advantage, and it can be hard to follow you up here depending on the routes you take, and that'll lead you right up to the seahorn. I might as well go up there and give that a toot real quick for posterity's sake before we end the tour of the new space. Yes,
dude, look how close it is.
If you blow this, people are going to hear it and they're going to know you're up here, so gives them a warning, but you get that buff for 60 seconds of strength. And,
it's a strength buff for 60 seconds. All the way around.
You can see in the distance there's the parking center and the welcome center and the bridge that connects it all. And there's all of Grappital City. So it's just one
look how close it is to Grappital City now. That's so
excited for you guys to get out here and experience all the new types of gameplay.
You can probably jump from boat to boat, but there's the bridge right there in the middle.
Okay.
All right.
It's got that.
So Keenan should be at the equip up zone over here waiting for me. Is that right?
Correct. And
Cool.
just as a friendly reminder too, you may have seen some special moves, weapons, and items in the trailer that are not going to be introduced today.
Yo, are you on
Throughout
the
Season
piano
2, we
lane?
will have additional releases that include those things and some new
Yeah.
perks. Today, we'll only be going over the stuff that's coming out tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Can we cut away from me for a second? I need to change one of my settings. I
You
want to get
must
rid
be
of my
in the
infinite
neighborhood.
stamina
I have
real
a
quick.
homie. He lives in River Park.
Thank
not
you.
too far from you. Yeah.
Secret stuff. All right.
Running.
Secret stuff is complete. You can come back to us now.
You live off what again?
All right, let's start talking about all the new content that's going to be in Season 2. First up, let's talk about the Rush family. Keenan, what's the Rush family all about?
Yeah, so
The
this
Rush
comes in
family.
common, rare, and epic. It's a traversal move that lets you plow through
Behemoth
crowds like a
Rush.
wild animal. And if you hold the button, you'll keep on running until you run out of stamina. And friendly added bonus, it runs faster than dashing repeatedly.
Yeah, and you can steer during this as well. The more rare version has a wider kind of AoE zone and moves quite a bit faster as well. Keenan and I are going to do a little foot race for you just to kind of show you that it can keep up with or beat a dash. We'll race to those rocks over there. You ready, Keenan?
Let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, we're going to different rocks. This is no good.
Oopsies. All right, here we go.
Yeah, the ones that I'm facing. Hold on, let me get my stand. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so you can see I'm getting ahead of Keenan a little bit now. And then I'm going to hit the wall quite a bit before him and fall on my ass. But pretty fun move to use. If you use the air version, it does very similar to the ground version. It just kind of falls and starts running. So it's a little awkward to use in the air, but if you're just trying to plow through a crowd, Keenan, if you want to get next to this bot for me real quick, people are fighting, you can just kind of charge through and see who you hit. Pretty useful. This is a power move. It's going to beat weapons, like you would expect.
If you see
but
someone
it also
with a
means you
fucking
cannot
weapon,
bail out of this.
it's going to take them out.
Hit something.
Oh, okay.
So
if they try to
you're kind of committed to
that'll
this
take them out.
until you hit. And it can be pretty awkward to punish as well because Keenan, if you block this for me real quick, you can see I keep going. So the best way I can give you to punish this if you're new is to try to dash backwards and then just do your drop kick. So Keenan, let's try that real quick over here. I'm going to make you block this. You can dash backwards and try to drop kick me. Oh, almost got me. Ready? Just well, you get the idea. Here, you equip one real quick, and I'll do it.
Got one.
You got one? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
2.
Go ahead.
I'll probably.
So just dash back at them and drop kick, just like that. That's going to be your best bet for a quick punish if people are pestering you with this. You can get some better stuff once you figure it out, but it's pretty good. All right, let's move up next to the Edge family. Keenan, what are these all about?
The Edge family.
So these also come in common, rare, and epic.
Bro, you're just
variety.
gonna have it. You're just
It's a
gonna have
vicious
them on
attack
your
that lets you
shoulders,
spend
ready to
stamina
fucking
to carry an
toss 'em.
opponent around. You're gonna tap the attack button again
I've never,
to
I
slam
don't
the
see
opponent
wrestling
into
much,
the
so
ground or toss them off the ledge after you already apply the grab. And this is great for team combos.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with the cutting edge, which is the green variety, the common one, and we'll see how far I can carry Keenan. Not very far. Drains your stamina very fast, so you're going to want to invest in legs if you.
It's like basically like big swing, but more.
But if you get the more rare version, the jagged edge, let's see how far I can take Keenan this time. That's quite a bit farther, and that's going to get even farther and farther the more legs I build, just because the drain is a lot slower. So that's how the math kind of works out. If you press the button early again, you can kind of slam them right away and save that stamina. So if you just want to get the quick slam and get that 140 damage real quick, just press the button really fast. The bounce on that's excellent for team combos. So Keenan will come over here.
They basically made a new map that's like 60% of the old map, but then just put it next to the old map.
A little combo off that. We'll try one more time.
But they said they said in the beginning, for like the first month or so, 80% of the final rings are going to end up on this island.
Cool.
And the other 20 are going to be brand new.
The unique thing about the Edge family is how they behave in the air. If you do the air edge, it's going to automatically bounce them. You do not get to carry them at all. So you have to land the grounded version if you want to get this carry. The air version is not going to give it to you. So that's an interesting thing. Most moves are maybe slightly better in the air, but this one's actually a little bit worse.
Are in the middle, and you won't know which one it'll end up in until like the final one.
Let's move on to our new weapons, starting off with the oil drum.
All right, the oil drum is not
Oil
too exciting.
drums?
It is the higher tier version of the construction barrel. So you'll find these around the world, and you can do pretty good stamina damage with them.
Holy crap, bro! They got oil
Keenan
barrels
probably has
now.
infinite stamina on, so you won't
There's
see
so many
stamina break
things to
there, but
throw
they
now.
do pretty heavy stamina damage. What is next?
Next up, we have the potted plant throwables.
Yeah, so these are
Potted
also kind of
plants?
set dressing you'll find around the world, and these are just throwable. There's really nothing else to do with them, but they're nice pocket stuffers. They make a wonderful ceramic noise when they break on people's faces, and I
A
find them to be very
wonderful ceramic
satisfying. So,
noise.
you'll find these all around the world as set dressing, and you can pick them up and chuck them at people.
And quick question with how they work. If I wanted to throw them, say, with my attack button, would I be able to do that?
You can, yeah. If it's a throwable only, you can just go ahead and press your basic attack button, which for me is the X button, and it'll throw it using the same action as the quick throw that you would normally do with right bumper.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now we got a quick question from Twitter from Grapey93. How many different kinds of chanclas are in season 2? They mentioned they wanted to carry all of them.
Oh, they got 3 different. I love how it just is disrespectful.
Chancleta, we got the firm chancleta, and we got the solid chancleta. And these have strong tracking and are very disrespectful. So strong tracking, I think you all know, means that if this targets somebody, it's going to curve abnormally strongly and follow them around corners.
Yeah.
And that's just how they are. But what does disrespectful mean? Well, the vicious attack does just a quick knockdown, so we'll go ahead and hit Keenan with that. Nothing special there, not huge damage, but the basic attack is actually where this one shines. The damage is very bad,
Mac.
but it staggers quite a long
Oh,
time.
it's like you charge
So if
chop
we were
them.
to get
Dude, I wanna
a
carry chocolate
solid
all the
chancleta
time.
here, we could be very disrespectful.
Ooh!
3 times.
Oh, how dare you get a fucking D
I
on
don't
your
personally
report
recommend
card?
pocketing 2 of these just to be that disrespectful, but you may find that it is good content.
They're gonna show that soon.
Be this disrespectful.
But it's basically Blanca.
And the combo will drop after that. If you do one more of those, it'll stop the combo. But yeah, sandals are very disrespectful.
Bro, oh
how
my
it is in the
god,
Rumbleverse.
just the chocolate, just
Maybe grab it to make a nice little setup for a friend.
Just disciplining your opponent.
Cool.
Next
Next
up.
up, we got the starfish family of weapons, which also
Right.
come in a common, rare, and epic variety.
Yep, the starfish, happy starfish, and poison starfish.
Poison starfish is gonna be
These
so
are
fucking-
amazing. They are a
Oh.
traversal focused weapon, and I'll show you what that means. You guys know the keybat. You love the keybat. This has a traversal
Love the
ability
keybat.
as well, but this is not a traversal focused weapon. This is a weapon that is, lots of combat going on. But what's really special about the starfish is that its strike move turns you into a ball that you can steer and does the same thing in the air.
Blanca.
And the vicious move does kind of a rainbow arch ball that you can also steer a little bit. And what's cool about those is you can actually grab walls out of them.
Oh,
So something like this
shit.
becomes possible. If you can do the vicious one towards
No,
the
they
wall
actually
and grab it,
they have
that means you can
infinite
also
stamina
wall
to
jump
show
off the
off
wall
preview.
and then rainbow back to it and grab it. So you can get some really interesting movement going just by having one of these in your
Woo!
pocket. If Keenan were chasing me and I had one of these and I pulled it out, he's not catching me. It's just I'm going to be able to do things he can't do. And vice versa. If I'm chasing him and he doesn't have one of these and I pull this
Oh my
out
gosh.
just to
had
use
to
it for the
come out with
movement, I'll
fucking
probably be able to
like
catch him because I will be able to do
Well, they had to
very
give a
fast,
weapon that
interesting
like
movement he's
is
not able to
traversal
access.
based, but like
So,
not as
the
rare
starfish,
as the keybat.
I try to
guess.
always keep one in my pocket in season 2 if I can find one, because the movement options you get are so incredible. On the combat side, it's pretty straightforward. The vicious attack that Keenan just hit me with will just knock you down and break the starfish, and the starfish will dig into the ground and go home.
Digs into the ground.
If you hit the basic attack, it's just going to knock them down. Whoops, sorry. It's just going to knock them over. What's interesting about that one is if he blocks, I'm going to bounce back into the air. And if I press attack again, it will automatically throw the starfish like a windmill shuriken.
Oh shit.
Make him block that. That's pretty cool. But it gets really dangerous, as I'm sure some of you saw in the IGN clip with the poison one. Now, the poison one doesn't poison on hit. It only poisons when you throw it. But it does stagger
poison
pretty
when thrown, okay.
gratuitously. So you can hit with that a couple times in a row and then finish with the throw, get that stamina break, combo. So those are pretty dangerous ones to use as a weapon. But generally, the lower 2, I think I favor much more for traversal than to use as a weapon.
Cool, thanks. And then next up, last weapon that we're introducing, we are adding buckets, which are new throwables.
Yeah, this is
Buckets?
Bucket Junior, my favorite of the buckets. As a throwable and an item container. You just meant to throw these. What does item container mean? It means that every time it breaks, every time there will be something inside. So
Oh.
that time we got a energy drink. This time we got a green pod. You can get all kinds of stuff from these. Hey, we got a half chicken that time. It can be really useful just to smash these on people's heads or on walls to see what comes out. Can a bucket appear from inside another bucket? I don't know. Rumble scientists are still trying to figure that out.
Can a bucket spawn from another bucket? Let's go.
And
I
that
would love
concludes
that.
our new weapons.
A quick question: if I wanted to just not throw it at someone, if no one's nearby, can I throw it at the wall and then it'll splat open?
Yeah, it'll lose 1 durability on each hit. So I just got a broken golf club out of mine.
Cool. All right, next up, a new consumable. We've added the Machos Nachos consumable to Rumbleverse.
I only get one chance to show you this because these aren't going to respawn due to a bug.
Oh my god, they got 5 of them on
the
it?
Machos Nachos are really interesting. They have 6 charges instead
six
of
on it?
2 charges on the big chicken. So the big chicken, 300 health per bite. That's going to be 600 health. The Machos Nachos, 100 health per bite, 6 bites, also 600 health. So these are equal. These are equivalent. Difference is that the Machos Nachos, you only get 100 per bite, but the bites are much faster, and that actually makes them a lot better for sharing. So, Keenan, you want to pick up the small chicken here? And then we'll just
also, you don't have to pop a whole chicken just to heal up 100.
I'm already done. And he's still finishing. So I can actually fit 2 eats in the time it takes him to get 1. But now that I've eaten twice, and I have 4 charges left, I could put that on the ground and have my teammate take it. So these are really excellent for sharing or topping off the health bar. And I really like them a lot. Where the big chicken is going to shine is if you are hungry, you have low health, and you get that hungry bonus where you get 100 and you get 50% extra on your next bite. The chicken is going to shine there when you get that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the nachos. I highly recommend trying them out.
50% on the next bite.
Well, when you're hungry, you don't.
Yeah,
you
and
never
then
know
the last
that?
thing we want
Like
to talk
for
about is
50
our
on
new
your
perk. I
hungry.
haven't gotten it yet in this run, so I can't show it to you. But our new perk that we're launching tomorrow is called Insatiable. I saw some of you guess the name of this correctly based on the icon alone, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But when you are insatiable, you will always be hungry. So that little buff you get when you are at the bottom of your health bar, where your next food does 50% more, you get that permanently forever. So all
Insatiable
food
just makes
50%
healing
better
like
all the
way
time.
better.
Really, really cool perk. But you're going to want to make sure you maybe carry a little bit more food than usual, or think about that instead of weapons if you are rocking that perk as your healing source. Yeah. So I think the last thing we want to show you before we do some slides and jump into balance changes is the pinging system has been greatly improved. So you can see when I go into pinging mode, the camera actually moves out of my way now, so I can see what I'm aiming at. And when I ping, it looks much nicer. And if it goes off screen, you can still see it, and it's on the map and everything too.
Pinging is
you can see it as
finally useful.
So the previous version of pinging was something we built very, very quickly just to try and have something in the game before launch, but we actually had time to greatly improve that for this release. And this is really going to help you communicate with your pals when you're playing team modes.
Great. Thanks for that breakdown. Now on to some miscellaneous updates. We're going to switch to some slides. Cool. So first up, we've made some big improvements to the climbing system. You should drop off walls unexpectedly even less now. Shout out to everyone that shared clips or shared pictures of spots where you were maybe falling off. It helps out a lot. Thank you.
I will say this is a big improvement to climbing. It is not the last improvement we'll make to climbing.
Correct.
So again, keep showing us where it's not working and where it's messing up. And the better you can show us that stuff, the easier it's going to be for us to figure out how to improve it next. But this is a pretty vast improvement.
Yeah. Cool. And then on to slide number 2. You can now see your own party status next to your teammates. This will help you see if you're the launch master and your mic status.
Yeah. Nice little convenience.
I would love to see what
Slide
stats
3,
my partner is running with, though.
The battle barge has moved.
Right, like
You'll now be launching toward the islands
3, right.
from the north side instead of the east side. You'll see
so
a
we're
new
gonna be
version of
launching
the
from-
barge because the sun will be shining on different parts of the barge now. And then on to the next slide, please. We have retuned how fame is gained. You'll gain more daily and weekly challenges than in Season 1, and a bit less from gameplay accolades. This should mean that even if you aren't an all-star player, that simply completing your daily and weekly challenges will have finishing the battle pass much quicker. And then on to the last slide. You can now invite a larger group into a party to join playground mode together. We'll be running limited time tests of battle royale modes for larger groups this season as well. Please stay tuned.
Yeah, so right away you'll be able to invite 3 people to a group and go into playground mode and play there together. But that test for battle royale trios and battle royale quads, those will be later in the season, and those will be limited time as we test the modes. That doesn't mean they won't ever be permanent, It just means that we're testing them now, and we want to get your feedback, and then we'll figure out what to do from there.
For sure. All right, now on to
Calorie.
our balance changes. Good to go ahead and come back to us.
It's balance change time.
Mm-hmm.
It's balance change
Giving me
time.
obligatory balance intro. You're
Yeah,
gonna hear
let's
this every
do
time
it.
we do one of these streams.
Yeah. While hearing about the many changes below, or I guess in this speech,
Everybody's
please keep
concerned
in
for
mind
Who's
that
Nerf, or
the
Who's
game balance
Nerfness.
is a sum of all parts. Taking any one of these changes in a vacuum may paint an inaccurate picture. We'd like to encourage you to play the game with fresh eyes and give it some time to feel out how all the puzzle pieces fit together. We'll continue to watch you play and listen to your feedback, and we'll work hard to bring the game into a harmonious state. Thanks for being a part of the journey with us, and remember, it's all part of the Rumble.
Absolutely. It's all part of the Rumble. Please remember, you may not agree with every change we make. That's fine. Not every change is going to be aimed at your playstyle or a problem that you had.
We
We'll be
buffed
giving our
Nerf.
reasoning for each
We're-
change
we-
so that even if
we
you
buffed
disagree, you
this.
can at least
Did they
follow
talk
our
about
logic.
meditate?
Many of these changes were inspired by your feedback,
not yet.
but they may not address your issues exactly the way you wanted. As always, put some playtime into these changes and try to look at the big picture and then give us additional feedback. If we went too far, tell us. If we didn't go far enough, tell us, and we'll make additional adjustments in the future. So with that said, let's start talking about it.
Yeah, so first up, we got a couple questions. First one from XDreganX from Reddit. When your team talks about move functionality or balance concerns, which player dynamics, solo, duo, etc., do you rank as more important on that scale?
Yes. It's kind of an interesting question. We're always thinking about both solo and team play. So sometimes we design a move for team play, like this Jagged Edge. But we think, how will this be good for solo players as well? Can we, this used to be a move where you just kind of toss somebody to your friends, but then we kind of added the spike thing where it could get a little damage on its own. And you could maybe get a little follow-up off of it with your own elbow drop. Or maybe if you have a dolphin dive or something like that, right? So there are ways to make that work in solo, and it's also just good for throwing people off the map, though it can take a while. You'll get interrupted quite a lot when you're doing this. Somebody will see it and not want you to do the thing. And it's the opposite too. When we think about a move for solo play, we also think about, how will this affect duo play, and what can we do to the move as we build it to make it more functional or more interesting in that mode.
Cool.
Good question.
And this was touched a little bit earlier, but a question from Vashin_Noel from Instagram. Can we have trios as a regular mode rather than a mode for that's limited? That's a limited time mode.
We'll see. The hope is yes, but we want to test these first and see how they go. And after that, we'll make some decisions and figure it out. You guys let us know how they're feeling once you try them.
Cool. All right, now let's jump into some balance changes.
All right, let's do it. This is a big one. So this is a response to the most controversial change from 1.5. So let's talk about it. Keenan, go ahead.
Here we go. So the changes to the air dodge in the Season 1 mid-season update that added more recovery time have gone a long way toward making the game more thoughtful. We've heard your feedback on this change, especially the desire to be able to use vicious attacks and special moves when coming out of the air dodge. We've tried to find improvements and compromises that maintain the thoughtful use of this move that we intend, and with the freedom players feel they lost. We found a compromise where we were comfortable with, and so the following changes have been made.
Yes. All right. So first off, there's a lot of things here, so stay with me. First off, we've changed the recovery animation from the air dodge to make it more visually clear that you were in a recovery state and can't perform action. So you can see the character's arms flailing. So it makes sense that if you're trying to do a move on the way down here that you can't. And that is still true. On the way down, until that's over, I won't be able to do an action. So if I do the low version of that, I'm mashing it, nothing comes out until I land. We've also added a small amount of additional invulnerability time to the air dodge, so that now that it has a little bit more risk, it's actually a little easier to use. All right. So here's the big one. Once again, we're going to allow you to cancel your air dodges into special moves and air vicious attacks so long as you are on the way up. You must be on the way up. So it'll come out. So that means if Keenan is coming away from me, I can use this to get the boost.
Finally, you're going to be able to grab people who run.
I'm on the way down.
Finally.
I'm not going to be able to do it until the air dodge is over. So
I'm
that's
here
the
for ya.
compromise we found that we were able to make. Keenan's up there climbing. I'm going to jump up there and whoops, I'll do regular jump. There we go. Got him. So if you miss chasing people up walls with that, that is now back. But the thing that we really didn't want in the game, which was using the air dodge to get the invincibility and attacking people from behind all in one motion is still gone. You can still just jump over people and do low altitude vicious attacks. Like, you're still free to play that way. You just can't get an air dodge right before it, kind of combining all the best of both worlds. So that's a really, really nice change. We've also added some additional recovery when landing from missing an air vicious attack. We had to shorten this when we shortened the air dodge landing in season 1 by a hotfix, because those actions were the same thing. They were linked together. In season 2, we've unlinked those things so we can tune them independently. And this will bring missing low altitude vicious attacks more in line with missing the ground versions in terms of timing again. And I think that's more fair, but again, we'll tune it if you guys feel it's too much or too little. But beyond that, there was actually a recovery time. If you air block and then let go, there's some recovery time there. You see that? Where I'm not allowed to block again. I can't dodge. I can't jump. That's just the penalty for having pressed block in the air and let go. That was also linked to the other landing poses before, and now it's separated as well, so we can tune this independently. And as a result of that, we've drastically shortened the penalty for landing after air blocking. This is going to help get rid of some easy duo guard breaks, or at least make them harder to do, and it just feels a lot better in general. And that is change number 1. So hopefully that addresses the most controversial change from last time in a satisfactory way. Again, play it, let us know, and we'll make more changes if we have to.
For sure. On to another hot item. The air version of the Mist family can really surprise players. And we've heard community complaints that it may be a bit too fast for the reward it gives.
Mist?
As a result, the following changes have been made.
All right. Before we do these Mist changes, I watched Syken stream, and I watched him in playground mode dodging the season 1 vicious mist on reaction. So that was already possible. We've also made the air mist family startup a little slower. So Keenan's going to dodge this on reaction for you. I'm going to start jumping, so he's not just reacting to the jump. He's going to wait to see the mist. He doesn't know when I'm going to press it, and he's out of the way. You could always do this in season 1. It's even easier now. You got it twice in a row. All right, so it's a little bit slower.
No,
We've also added a little bit more landing recovery.
I don't know if people just have really good fucking connections to the servers and shit, but that shit was not reactable, bro. I would,
and we've also increased the damage scaling
before I even see this.
Mist, so your follow-up hits are going to do a little bit less than they did before. We're going to continue to monitor this Mist family and make additional adjustments in the future if we need to. You're going to hear me say that a lot because that's the truth. I think you've seen that in the season 1.5 and this stream already so far. So keep that in mind. We're always listening. And that's the Mist.
For sure. On to the next. A massive consistency pass has been performed on attack tracking across all moves to shore up some situations in which attack tracking could misbehave. Target acquisition works the same, but the way a character moves toward their target after tracking has occurred should be smoother in many situations now. This is a work in progress, and additional changes and fixes will be made as we identify issues. Please continue to post your clips of the attack tracking system doing things that you feel cross the line.
All right, so I'm going to take this opportunity to teach y'all how attack tracking works. When you press the button, the moment you press the button, it's looking for a target. It's not waiting to look for a target when the chop is swinging. It looks immediately as soon as you press the button. It's going to jump forward no matter what. That's just part of the move. But if it detects a target, it's going to drag me towards Keenan instead of where I was going, and it's going to hit him, right? That's how attack tracking works. There were a lot of problems in our attack tracking system before, including some of the moves using wrong tracking curves, which could make them move irregularly. A lot of the moves were not finishing their tracking before hitting. So the move was supposed to move towards Keenan and then hit. It would start moving towards Keenan, hit Keenan, but it was supposed to finish a little later. So it wouldn't make it all the way. It would teleport at the end. And the last thing I want to show you, this is a big one that's going to make a huge difference. Keenan, if you could come over here to our spot where we tried this before. You guys all know there's ledge protection in this game, right? So if I walk over this ledge, I just fall. But if I try to attack over this ledge, I don't. Right? So if I try to do a vicious attack, I'm going to get caught on this ledge. And what was happening before was you would attempt a vicious attack and it would find a target and then get you caught on the ledge and not follow them. And then it would teleport to them at the end. And now that's fixed. So Keenan, if you come down here, I'm going to try to track you. And this cleanly goes over the ledge and looks much better now.
Oh
so
my God.
The combination of all of those things I just talked about are actually a huge change in making the game feel and look a lot smoother. And you'll have to let us know how that feels and continue to show us clips of things that cross the line for you.
I think I died to something like that.
For sure.
Yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next up, the Plank family of weapons are pretty terrifying. They can be pocketed, have a fast, vicious attack that stuns for so long that you can connect anything you want afterward. Even if a combo scaling goes down, the value of this weapon for displacement or ring outs is still very high for how common it is. In order to lower the threat of such a common weapon, the following changes have been made.
All right. We have drastically lowered the hit stun on the Plank family's Vicious Gut Check. You can still combo quick attacks here, but you will not have enough time for a Charge Chop, a Super Move, or an Irish Whip. So,
Oh wow.
Keenan, go ahead and block for me. He's going to hold the block button. Still got plenty of time for my chop combo. If I was near a wall, I could maybe wall splat him and get some stuff going. All right. This time he's going to dodge after I hit him because I'm going to try an Irish Whip. That is not fast enough anymore. That is not going to make it. We'll try a Charge Chop. You can just continue to hold block this time. Not fast enough. And of course, lastly but not least, we'll show that a super doesn't make it. Go ahead and dodge after the hit. Does not make it in time. So that is a serious nerf to the Plank family.
Thank you.
And
Thank
will definitely change the value of these. You can still get some good stuff from these. Some of the faster special moves will combo cleanly after them. If you have Bombastic or you have a wall near you, you might be able to get some more. But big game changer. We're not opposed to powerful weapons. It's just that these were too common and too pocketable to be as powerful as they were. Now, if you want a vicious attack that stuns into the full Charge Chop, you still got trash cans and all that kind of stuff, but you can't pocket those. So the use of those is
trash can, but you know what? I'll take it.
Safe to assume that applies on the crates too, right?
Yeah, crates will still stun the same way they used to, and give you all the same stuff.
Sweet. All right. Due to the increasing number of environmental weapons being added to the Rumble, we've opted into lower weapon drop rates from crates. While doing this, we also raised the skill book drop rates from crates. And now that there is a larger variety of special moves in the game, we want to give players more opportunities to find the ones they want to use.
Absolutely. What's interesting about this is we can actually tweak these values via hotfix. I know some people will yell, hey, why don't you hotfix this or that? We can't hotfix everything in the game. There are certain things that the hotfix system allows us to touch, and there are other things that we can't touch. But also philosophically, we don't want to make changes constly without warning. So one good thing about these changes is they're pretty easy to tweak. And if we're finding that the weapons are still too common, we can lower it. Or if the book's not common enough, we can raise that. And as a bonus note, Keybat drop rates have decreased, so you'll see those a little bit less as well.
Cool. Onto the shot family of moves. Goal shot and wreck shot will now ball bounce the opponent off of the floor like Cosmo shot does. Teammates may be able to pick up combos in this moment. We felt that adding this to all tiers of moves made it feel more thematic and increased the teamwork opportunities.
Yeah, I like this change a lot. So let's give it a shot here. I'm gonna give this dude a swift kick and he'll bounce. Boing. You can actually do a little ground combo off that, Keenan. You want to try doing the basic combo off of this? Look at that. It's a pretty low bounce.
Goal shot is good.
Opportunities off of that.
Goal shot is just something to have when you don't have any other moves now.
Here we go. Oh, we missed. But Cosmo shot always did that, and now the lower varieties also have this ability, which is really handy and just kind of raises the value of them both for teamwork and in regular play. So I'm a big fan of that change myself.
Yeah. Next update. The team really liked the change that we made to the basic suplex in the Season 1 mid-season update. Now that it is the fastest vicious move, opponents have to worry about it more often, especially near ledges or low health. In order to lean more into the basic toolkit being faster, but safer, the following changes have been made.
All right, before I show this, I'll just note that these changes are supposed to apply to the Brainbuster version, but they didn't, so we'll get that fixed in the next patch as well. So if you get Brainbuster, you get a slightly worse but slightly stronger version of this move for now. So what we did was we've made the basic suplex recover much faster on miss. Keenan, do you have a vicious attack equipped like Giant Swing or Zuna Drop or something like that? Maybe Emerald Crusher. Here, Emerald Crusher's right here. Take this one.
Thank you.
So we're just going to do these side by side, not attack each other, and then we're going to mash jump afterwards so you can see how much quicker my basic suplex actually recovers. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm out much faster. If Keenan were to dodge this, it's actually going to be quite a bit harder for him to punish it because it recovers so fast. And it also hits slightly faster than before. It was already the fastest vicious attack in the game, but now it's a little bit faster than it was in Season 1.5. It's going to be very rare to find a person who can dodge this on reaction. And if you do, they might not be able to punish it because it recovers so fast. So the way I want you to deal with this is to press your chop button and try to challenge it, because that'll beat it out straight up with the priority system. This is going to add a lot of variety to your kind of 1v1 skirmishes and all that stuff. You probably also noticed we changed the animation for for this, the attempt animation, kind of reaches out forward. That way your opponent can see what you went for and understands why it recovered so fast compared to some of the other grab moves that have kind of the big open arms animation.
Cool.
And yeah, I think that's it for that change.
Next
that is
up,
one of my favorite changes.
For sure. Next up, I think you have some beefy updates for us.
Yeah, let me take a sip of my water. All right. This next section has a lot of pretty technical things I'm going to dive into. It's not going to be the most visually interesting part of the stream. But I really want to talk to you guys about all this stuff because I think it's really important. And I think it will address a lot of your concerns. So try to stay with me. Previously, block stun had a lot of unpredictable cancel windows. For a few frames towards the end of block stun is what happens when somebody hits you. So I'm blocking, I'm in block loop right now. I'm looping block. If Keenan attacks me, I'll be in block stun, and then I'll go back into block loop. Okay, that's how it works. Block stun, block loop, right? So previously, at the end of block stun, there was a window that could change sizes depending on how long the block stun was that allowed you to attack if you were still holding the block button, but not if you let go. So that would allow you to break out a block stun way earlier than we expected you to. After that, there would be a dead zone of about a frame. And then after that, you'd be in a block exit phase that lasted about a quarter of a second. And during that block exit phase for the first half, you were allowed to dodge, but not attack. For the next quarter of it, you could do nothing. And for the last quarter of it, you could attack, but not dodge. Very confusing. You're supposed to be confused by this. It's too much. It doesn't make any sense. None of that stuff should have been working the way it was. So we've completely reworked how block stun and block exit work. This should result in a vastly more consistent feeling game and feeling to punishing attacks. When you're allowed to move and dodge and attack after releasing block, you may have seen somebody mashing super activate during block stun and it would start and then stop. That shouldn't happen anymore either. A lot of things were fixed by this. This also means you can no longer attack while holding block. So if Keenan is attacking me and I want to punish, I'm mashing the button. I can't because I'm holding block. I have to let go if I want to reply. All right. So that's a big change you're going to need to be aware of. You must let go of block if you want to attack or it's not going to work. In order to do this change, we had to touch every single block stun value in the game multiple times. This was a huge endeavor. This is something we were aware of at the beginning of season 1. It's just too big and too risky for us to fix until now. We needed a lot of time to test it. And you may still find a problem or two, so please let us know if you do. Moves that were never intended to be punishable when blocked, such as punch and charge chop, are now not punishable. So Keenan can block right after the charge chop, and I will not be able to punish that ever. And punch as well, not punishable ever. All right, so that's a lot better as well. We've also fixed an issue that prevented you from dodging for a few frames after you pressed block. So you'd hit block and then hit dash to try and dodge. And if you hit them like right at the same time, but you hit the block button slightly earlier, you would be prevented from dodging for 2 frames. And now that's fixed and it will come out immediately. So that's a lot of stuff. Block stun is going to feel a lot better. Blocking is going to feel a lot better. Huge change. That's not it though. As we noticed in the season 1.5 mid-season update, the team wanted to, as we noted, I should say, the team wanted to work towards removing the early cancel windows found on dodge that made it feel so inconsistent to punish. As a result, we've made the following changes. We've removed all early cancel windows from the end of dodge. So you're not attacking until it is over. And there's no way to get out of that earlier. But we've shortened the dodge roll as well. So this is actually shorter than it used to be in season 1. And you'll get out of this earlier in general, even if you don't attack, which feels fantastic. You need to keep in mind, this is a big picture lesson. When I say something like, hey, the chair Vicious hasn't had more recovery frames added to it, it doesn't matter because the dodge is shorter now. So technically everything has more recovery in the face of a dodge. So think about that as well when you think about big picture and what that means in terms of balance when we're giving you this boatload of changes. It's hard to see it all from a bird's eye view until you play it. So keep that in mind. Again, this should make dodging feel extremely visually consistent now. Punish timing should be much more predictable and forgiving. And in addition, you're just going to find dodging to be nicer and snappier feeling in general because of that shorter recovery time. So let's keep talking about dodging a little bit. Many changes have been happening to the dodge in order to get rid of those early cancel windows and make that punishing feel consistent. And now that that work is complete, we've noticed that the changes are making using bailout on hit in your offense more risky than we'd like. So in order to encourage and reward offense, we've made the following changes. This is definitely my favorite change for season 2. All right. Bailout on miss. That's when you cancel a move that has missed or been blocked. It's got the same recovery as the basic dodges, but again, those are shorter than they were in Season 1. So these are a little snappier. You're also going to notice this cool new V effect. There was always a V effect on bailouts. It was just not very noticeable. So now you see this big X. If you see somebody do a bailout, you'll see that big X. It's really cool. So the big change here is we've drastically lowered the recovery on bailout on hit specifically. So bailout on miss, again, is when I miss or when I'm blocked. But if I hit somebody, go ahead and let go, Keenan. That's how fast I recover. They're really fast on hit. This is going to make punishing a bailout if you're attacking somebody who is fighting and got a successful hit much, much, much more difficult. You can't just sit around and wait for them because they're pretty hard to react to. We've also extended this change to charges. So I'm charging up my chop. I don't want it. I'm just going to backflip out. And that's the improved bailout, the bailout on hit. So I can get out of that really fast. You can see it's lightning fast, which gives you some really interesting bait opportunities on charges. And then this change does not extend to the air bailouts because those already recovered really fast and never had any changes from Season 1, so you could always attack right out of them. And then we've also added a little bit more invulnerability to the backflip dodge because it had some inconsistent amounts, so we kind of raised it to make it a little bit more consistent. It's still a little less than the directional dodge, but yeah, it's a lot better.
I have a quick question for you, Adam.
Yeah.
So for the folks that maybe not are familiar with the term bailout, how would you define that?
Bailout is what we call a dodge cancel. Cancel is just a word meaning you're going to make one animation end early to go into a different one. So if I do this chop, I'm stuck in it until I'm mashing jump, right? I can't do anything until that moment, but I can roll out of that much, much earlier just by hitting my dodge buttons. That's all I have to do. It's kind of a key mechanic to the game to avoid third parties.
For sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's chat about that more. Because of the faster bailout on hit, a few moves needed to be adjusted to limit combo opportunities or reduce damage due to new combo opportunities. Adam?
Yeah, a couple small changes here. Cyclone Family now launches people less high and slightly farther away to prevent a looping combo. So I'll show you here. Didn't go very high, didn't go that far. The looping combo here was basically just this over and over again. It was very easy. So we had to make that change to get rid of that. Goal shots bounce.
Everybody's like having a
using
problem when they're fixing shit. Like, oh, I can't loop, or I can't dodge immediately after my fucking whip.
As well. Very nice. So we've lowered the damage on that one from 170 to 100 because now
I gotta actually play the game and respect my opponent.
All
right.
Oh my god. We also discovered an issue that could prevent you from being able to dodge for a few frames if you hit dash before hitting block when trying to input those buttons at the same time.
He did not.
We talked about this just a few minutes ago on the block side. You'd hit block and then dash. There'd be about 2 frames where you couldn't dodge. We discovered that on the other side as well. We also discovered inconsistent stamina costs around these dual button press windows. And to address this and add another layer of depth to the improved bailouts, we've made the following changes. When pressing dash slightly before block to trigger dodge, dodge will now come out instantly and require the correct amount of stamina. You will not be double costed for the dash and the dodge ever. Previously, you would have to wait about 1/12 of a second, which was quite substantial in order to activate the dodge that way, which, could make you feel like you got robbed. And it would also cost you more stamina than it was supposed to. So that was kind of nasty. After this window at the start of the dash, if you attempt to dodge, you're going to get your normal dodge. You can see there's no X on there. That's my normal dodge out of there. But if you wait until the dash has started up significantly and then you press the button, you're going to get the improved bailout on block or bailout on hit version. So you can actually dash at people and get these really fast dodges that are really fun to mix people with. If you hold the dash button anytime during the second or third dashes, you can get it as well. So you don't have to wait for the startup in that case. So it goes dash 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. It loops 2 and 3 over and over again. Anytime after the first one, you're going to be able to get that improved bailout on hit dodge, which is really, really fun. Yeah. So I just want to say the inconsistencies y'all were feeling were very real. They were not the result of netcode or servers or ping. They were problems with the way some of these moves were set up that was very difficult for us to resolve and took a lot of testing for us to fix and get right. If you're feeling other inconsistencies after this, take video, report it, and we will investigate because a lot of the stuff you guys pointed out here helped us find some of the issues with some of these moves and make them better. So that concludes my very technical portion of this demo that really kind of digs into some of the problems y'all were feeling and definitely want to make you, let you know they were real. They were real problems, but they're not online issues. Just tracking issues and other bugs. All right, Keenan, let's jump into the more fun stuff back again.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how folks feel about how fun this next one is. Here we go. The arm stat. It's a very desirable stat pod for players. Hitting hard and seeing big numbers is always a good time because higher damage output carries the added benefit of faster perk generation. The arm set is the most powerful, both statistically and in practice. And in order to level the playing field as it relates to perks, the following changes have been made.
The arm stat no longer contributes its damage bonus towards perk experience. So if your move is supposed to do 100 damage and you have a bunch of arms that makes it do 200, it will still do 200 damage, but you're only going to get towards your perk meter at 100. So that's a pretty big change. As a result of that, we've actually retuned all of the values at which you earn perks downwards so that it's easier for everyone to earn perks, even if they don't invest in the arm stat. And I think that will make diverse builds feel a lot more fair because perks are such a key, important part of the game. And you got such an advantage for building arms in terms of perk generation. Damage bonuses from other perks like Temper or whatever will still give you perk XP bonus, and same with super mode. So if you're in super mode, you're going to get that bonus.
Cool. Thanks for that breakdown.
Yeah.
And while the team wants the super move to remain scary, we recognize that when combined with the arm stat and other upgrades, the burst damage can feel too high to mitigate. To combat this, we've adjusted the super move so that it now gains half of the arm's bonus for damage scaling.
That is correct. I'm not going to demo that here, but let's say you had 10 arms, you're going to get what you would have got with 5 arms before, just on the super move specifically.
There you go.
All right. One thing I want to talk about is that we've changed the way we calculate elevation damage and unified all of our fall damage systems to address a large number of bugs. So there's not going to be stuff in the bug fixes that talk about this, but this addressed dozens of bugs. Instead of multiplying based on fall distance, we're going to be adding a flat value based on fall distance. This is going to make fall damage feel more predictable and consistent across the board. And it's also allowed us to remove damage caps on the low end for some of the weaker moves, like a basic suplex or a green choke slam. You'd get double bounce on that. You wouldn't get that much damage. We've made that so that it does more. However, on the high end, I think you'll find things tend to do a bit less. And I'm going to go up as high as I can over here without wasting too much time and do a key bat drop on Keenan and show you. All of these values have changed. Keenan, where are you at right now?
I'm by the crates.
Okay.
If you see crates, over there. That's where I'm at.
Cool. So all of these values have changed. Where is he? There he is. 332. Not nearly as much as it would have done before. That probably would have done like 900 before from that height. So definitely keep an eye on all of this. You're going to find that everything feels a little bit different. And I want you guys to let us know. If something feels too low, let us know. If it feels too high, let us know. You're also going to find things like, hey, the Omega Cyclone used to do fall damage in addition to its regular damage. It doesn't anymore. A lot of moves are going to do a little bit less or more because of the way those changes have been made. So like a giant swing or a big swing without a ledge is actually going to deal more than it used to. But something like Omega Uppercut or uncharged Omega Uppercut deals less fall damage than it used to. So it kind of tunes that down.
Cool. Thank you. Previously, area of effect attacks could pass through walls, leading to a lot of frustration and cheesy technique. This also made it visually unclear where you might be able to hide in order to protect yourself from an elbow drops blast. As a result, we made it so that AoE attacks can no longer pass through walls.
Where did Keenan go? There
oh my god,
okay,
AoEs
cool.
can't.
Yeah, AoEs don't go through walls anymore. So we'll just
hold on. They didn't say rezzing through walls.
That's not going to work. You actually have to come around the corner to hit people with this stuff now. So as long as you peek around the corner a little bit, you'll get them. But no more attacking through walls. That fixes some other bugs as well. But just generally makes the game more fair. It feels a lot more clear if you're trying to, hide from a big elbow drop where you could actually stand to avoid it. So that's a pretty nice change.
Great change.
Cool. Next up, special move stamina costs have been reworked. Previously, higher rarity moves cost slightly less stamina than lower rarity moves. Now we've reversed it. Lower rarity moves now cost quite a bit less stamina than their higher tier counterparts.
That is right. Let me equip some sumo slaps here. We'll use this as a demo. So it used to be that the purple sumo slap cost like 28 on the lowest, and then the blue was like 30, and then the green was like 32. So it's like went up by 2 as you went lower in rarities.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
We reversed that and made the numbers bigger as well. So green sumo slap, that's going to be 20. The blue one, that's going to be 25. And the purple one is going to be 30. So this is going to encourage you to maybe voluntarily run some more common books if you're not running legs as well, because it's going to get a bit more stamina intensive to use some of the higher rarity books. But beyond that, you'll also notice that some special move families have gotten some adjustments in general to their costs. So a good example is going to be the Super Kick family is actually going to be a low stamina cost family now. So that's going to be only 15 for a Super Kick. Very, very cheap. Whereas a Punchline, even on green, is already 30. So keep that in mind. All that stuff's all your charts about stamina costs will need to be re-looked at and everything like that. But it definitely changes the way you think about your builds as well. And I think this is a really nice change.
Thank you. There is always intended to be a limit of 2. Wait, let me make sure.
You skipped one.
Whoopsies. It was never intended for you to get a free elbow drop after the Hammer Fist Ender, unless you had Bombastic. The intention is that if you want an elbow, you'll need to use the back toss Ender and sacrifice some upfront damage and time. To fix this, we have delayed the time in which you can cancel out a Hammer Fist early into jump or attacks. Due to the slow startup speed of the Die family of special moves, they also no longer score a guaranteed combo off of Hammer Fist. If you get the Bombastic perk, you will still be able to combo into most ground attacks with good timing.
Right, which I currently don't have, so that makes this demo easier. I'm going to go ahead and do the Hammer Fist Ender on Keenan and then try to elbow him. He'll be able to get out of that every time with a dodge or a block.
That wasn't
we'll also show that with Dolphin Dive. That does not work anymore either. Well, that looked a little funny, but...
Yeah, can we fix that?
That's the game thinking I was supposed to hit, but him correcting it last second.
Yeah, can we fix the corrections?
There we go. So that won't work anymore either. Again, you were never supposed to get those off of this. This is your highest damage ender. It's supposed to be the one you use for a quick ending and the most damage. So if you want the same combos, you're going to use the back toss ender, sacrifice that damage, and then go into your favorite stuff. Got to use the back toss if you want to get to the elbow drop or the dolphin dive or whatever else.
Cool. On to the thing I was saying earlier.
Yes.
There was always intended to be a limit of 2 wall bounces per combo, but many bugs prevented this from being true. Players could circumvent this limit by doing different wall bounce animations, and this resulted in much more common long combos than intended. As a result, the following changes have been made.
There is now a 2 wall bounce limit. The third wall bounce in the combo will always end the combo. So let's check it out. There's 1. There's 2. That would have ended the combo before because it was the same wall bounce, but now 3. So we unified all of that stuff. Let's try it again. Let's do 1. And then we'll do 2. Well, that's not going to wall splat, is it? Oh, it did. Okay, nice. That probably won't. I got the angle wrong. Let's try it one more time. This wall's a little jaggy for this. Maybe not the best idea, but 1, 2, and then hopefully that wall splats. It did not. Okay. Well, that would have ended the combo. You get the idea.
Okay, so no matter what, whether you're Irish whipping them for a front splat or a back splat, it's always just going to be 2
family
splats.
and the shot family. So you're going to see that ball wall bounce come back. But again, the limit is 3. So technically 2. The third one ends it. So there's 1, there's 2, and then there's going to be a third one that's going to end it, bounce them off into an invincible state. There's still a 2 Irish whip limit. There always was, and this has nothing to do with the wall bounces. This is the Irish whip itself. So you can see he's invincible after the second Irish whip. That's just how that works.
But
so if you see that end a little early,
they didn't even show
2 Irish whips. You're not allowed to do that.
Like however much,
and because of this change, it also made wall splatting 3 times in a row with the punchline possible, which felt too much. So we've put a combo limit of 2 on punchlines. So your second punchline is going to end the combo right there as well. You can still get what you got before with your, Irish whip into the wall, punchline, and then punchline again. But that ends the combo because of the second punchline and the third wall bounce. We were also able to fix an issue that would cause the combo limit to reset whenever somebody did this backslide right here. So you've probably seen combos where people switched walls and were able to do extra wall bounces, and they thought it was because they used a different wall. But the real reason was actually just this backslide animation reset the combo limit every time. So Sumo Slap and this move, so long as they didn't hit a wall immediately, would always reset it. Whereas if it was near a wall, it would never get to that part of the animation. It would just hit the wall and it wouldn't reset. So a little bit less wall bounce ability. Still tons of combos you can do in the game, especially with teams, but those wall bounce combos will be a little bit shorter in Season 2.
Sweet. The Super Kick family was previously unable to track victims into the air, which could look visually confusing due to the angle of the kick animation. As a result, we've changed it so that the Super Kick family can track victims into the air.
Yeah, not many moves actually do track into the air. So Keenan and I are going to do a little demo. I'm going to jump, and as soon as I land, I'm going to try a drop kick, and then Keenan's going to jump. That's going to track him up into the air. We've all felt that, right? That's a move that tracks people into the air. That's what it's for. Whereas punchline, let's try that. I just miss because the tracking is not going to follow him into the air, right? So what's cool about super kick, it's a little buff to it, is it does now have that ability to track people into the air, which makes a lot of sense because it's kind of an upwards kick, and it could look awkward that your foot was in somebody and it wouldn't hit. But now this will track people into the air if they're kind of sufficiently in front of you as you press it, which looks and feels cool.
Definitely. In order to increase the options for possible counterplay when trying to help a down teammate, we've added a new cancel window to most moves that lets you attempt to revive a friend before the move is fully recovered. These cancel windows line up with the usual timing for a bailout.
Yeah, this is actually super cool. So you can, if you drop kick a guy, you wouldn't be able to revive until you're able to basically jump, right? Because you have to fully recover. So I'll mash jump. This is when I can start reviving my teammate. But with the new changes, you can actually start a revive anytime where a bailout is allowed. So I could do it as early as that. Which will make it a lot better to have options for counterplay. For
no, it's gonna like I said, when quads and trios comes out, people are not gonna be getting
definitely increases
KOs.
survivability in teams quite a bit.
Cool. This next one's for our emote fans. We have completed our first rework on the amount of superstar meter you can build by using emotes. Because of the 10-second cooldown we added in the Season 1 mid-season update, we were able to substantially increase the amount of superstar meter you can gain by using emotes. You'll also find the reward for completing longer emotes to be much more appealing and worth the risk. The team will monitor these values and adjust in the future if needed.
Yeah, so those short looping emotes like wave and stuff, they're still not going to build you much. But this was a change we just didn't have time for last time. We just needed to kind of stop the behavior of mashing a taunt forever to build meter safely. But now if you do something like, I'm going to do, let's say, Super Thumb. 27 meter for Super Thumb. That's quite a lot. So I'm going to hang out a little bit. I got to wait 10 seconds for the cooldown. 5, 6, 7.
Well, you have to be around other players.
10. Let's try Flex, which is one of our longest emotes. Let's try that out.
No, players. Like
35.
Enemy
Very
players.
Nice. So this is a huge change, and it's going to make it a lot more valuable to try a longer emote to see if you can get in that huge amount of superstar meter gain. Whereas the shorter stuff, which I'll show you in a second here, I'll just do the typical wave.
So emotes are pay to win. I guess that's...
So I do that, 6. Hello, and then stopping hello is 6. That's not that good compared to some of the other values you can now get, especially considering that 10-second cooldown.
Definitely. Solid update. Thanks.
Yeah.
We've heard community concerns about instability in the perk system. Previously, each time you'd earn a perk, the game would choose randomly from all available perks with no additional rules or considerations. It could feel bad to work hard to earn 8 perks, only to end up with no healing perks. While it is still possible to win without healing perks, we recognize that this is a difficult situation that may be out of line with the risk-reward values.
You gotta sit there and fucking...
To help out, the following changes have been made.
Yeah, before I do this real quick, I just want to note, you don't build that meter for the emotes if no one's near you. You got to be really near people.
So,
he ran at me.
Support the fucking devs. Buy some
I was going to demo that.
emotes.
But yeah, you got to be in dangerous range of people,
bro. They're trying to have some kind of...
All right, so back to the perks.
Trying to feed their families.
Said, you get 8 perks, no healing perks, felt bad. So what we've done is, instead of having one hat that has all the perks in it that you just reach your hand into, we've made 2 hats. There's a healing hat and a non-healing hat. And you'll have a % chance to draw from the healing hat and have a % chance to draw from the non-healing hat instead. So if you roll the dice and you draw from the non-healing hat and you don't get a healing perk, we're actually going to raise the percentage chance of you drawing from the healing bucket next time. So you're going to get a better chance at a healing perk next time. And then if you fail 3 times in a row and you still haven't gotten a healing perk by perk 4, we're just going to flat out give you one next time. So every 4th perk is guaranteed to be a healing perk at worst. So
every
8 perks,
perk
we'll have 2 healing perks, worst case. And yeah, that's the change.
And then just because I know we mentioned the insatiable perk earlier, is that considered one of the new healing perks then?
The insatiable perk is considered one of the new healing perks, so that will be in the healing bucket.
Cool.
Yeah, can we cut away so I can do a debug thing real quick? Thank you. I'll just be one moment.
No, I want to see the debug stuff.
Okay, come back.
Show us the debug menu.
We've heard additional feedback about the meditative perk, and as promised, we'd like to take another step toward adjusting this perk to be more healthy for the game's pacing. As a result, the following change has been made.
You're probably noticing that I have meditated and I'm not healing right now. Keenan, can you knock me down to 50% health, please? So I'll just show you the menu while he hits me. Meditative. Stand still to regenerate up to half health. That's the change. So once Keenan gets me below half, I will be able to meditate. So now I'm slightly below half. I'm going to go ahead and meditate real quick. Now I'm at half and I stop.
No.
Huge nerf to meditate.
No.
Keenan, you can hit me
Amazing
one time,
change.
take me a little lower so I can show it
Amazing
again.
change.
But I want to talk about this one just a little bit more. So you can only get half of
Amazing
it.
change.
I think players who are coming back from season 1 might be a little confused by this, so we can all be helpful and let them know why this is not working.
Definitely.
For them when they have over 50% health. But mathematically, this works out really interestingly. You can only build up to half, so you'd think, oh, I'm going to get half the value I used to get from meditate. In practice, it's actually much bigger than that. You're probably getting like 20 or 25% of the value you would have got out of meditate before. Because think about how often do you even meditate when you're not below half health? All of that time is not going to be able to fill that health with meditate. You're going to have to use one
sometimes
of your
people
other
just
healing
meditated
perks
just
or
to
your
get like
items in
their
order to
last
fill up.
like nine.
We're
like,
really
their
hopeful
last
that this
10%
will,
hit.
increase the pace of the game and all that stuff. But we'll have to see how it plays because this is another big picture thinking lesson moment. There are a lot of changes that we just talked about for season 2 that make survivability go up. Less wall splats in a combo, guaranteed access to healing perks, et cetera, right? There's also a few changes that push the other way. We didn't talk about this, but we've added some additional ring phases to the end of the match so that there's an additional phase before the final ring, and both of those pre-final final ring phases are a little longer. So maybe it'll thin the crowd out a little bit before the final ring. We've also weakened meditative. That's a push in the other direction. But we're not really sure how this will completely affect the pace of the game. So we'll be watching lobbies at every level of play, beginner all the way up to the top, to see what this is doing to the game's pace. And we want you to play the game for a few weeks and then respectfully share your feedback with us, and we'll make additional adjustments in the future as needed.
Sweet. Let's find Choke Slam for you.
Yeah, we got a couple bug fixes we want to go over before we close out the show. I will say this was about 2/3 of the balance changes. There are more that you're going to be able to read about tomorrow. We're going to go over a few key bug fixes here with you, but there are a ton of these as well that we're not going to talk about. So obviously, hot ticket issue. The Choke Slam's stamina break wasn't working. It would do the stamina damage. They would get all their stamina back and not get stunned. So now it should work. There he is. He's up and ready for
There
more
he
damage.
is. Chokeslam works
So that
again.
is fixed. Choke Slam's back.
Chokeslam's
Very good.
back.
Welcome back, Choke
Yeah.
Slam.
This next one's pretty interesting too. We fixed an issue that occurred when you attempted to dash right after learning a special move, which would cause the special move to incur.
They fixed the
instead of
dashing after
dash.
learning.
So I'll learn the special move. I'm going to put it on my right bumper and mash dash. And I get the dash. Before that would have just done the special move. So that's a big, very nice change. So you don't accidentally special move in a crowd that you're trying to dash out of. The next one is that we fixed an issue preventing hit sound effects from cutting off properly when the server correction into block occurs. And this is a good opportunity to talk about server corrections. You are playing a game where the server is the authority on what actually happens in the game. So your side, you get to move instantaneously. We're not applying any delay to your character. Your jump happens when you press it. Your attacks happen when you press it. It all feels nice and crispy. But the server gets that information a little later. Same from Keenan's side. And then it'll send me Keenan's information so I can know what Keenan's doing. And what that means is that if I want to block something at the very, very, very last moment, so Keenan's going to try to block this at the very last moment right after I jump. Keenan would not be able to do that if we didn't use a bunch of tricks to allow the game to have time to communicate. So one thing we do is we use hit stop and we kind of freeze the characters for a moment to give us more time to communicate. And another trick we do is you can see when I hit Keenan, there's a little spark that appears. It's got white in the middle and then yellow. If you block, it's got white in the middle and then kind of blue, and it shoots the other direction. When we start animating that spark, it's white. And then once the server lets us know if that was supposed to hit or block, it'll fade into the yellow or the blue. It gives us time to adjust and keep it visually consistent for you. This is very under the hood trick stuff. But the same was supposed to happen with the sound effects, and that was not working. So if I were to attack at Keenan and it looked like I was about to get a hit on my side, it would start playing the hit effect, but then I would get a correction from the server that says, no, Keenan blocked at the last second, so we need to adjust that. But the sound effect is supposed to cut off and fix, and that part was not working. So it could sound like you got a hit even though you didn't. These systems are really important to discuss with you guys because that is what makes the game feel responsive. If you want your blocking to be respected to the last possible moment, we have to do that for all of your opponents too. And because of that, we need to use tricks to communicate with the server and kind of try to hide all these things from you. So there's a little look under the hood, and I hopefully that helps you understand some of the things you see when you're playing the game, because it is an online video game.
It is.
And I think that's it, right? Yeah, the full list will be coming to our website tomorrow. Again, it includes a good number of balance changes we skipped and a ton of additional bug fixes, so check that out. And yeah, welcome to season 2.
Welcome to season 2 on Low Key
I'm
Key.
so fucking hyped now.
Couple questions before we close from social media. Jason from Facebook, are there any plans for future collaborations?
We're definitely trying to figure out what we can do there. It's something we're interested in,
like
but we
this
have
is
nothing
like
to
his
announce
Wildlands
at this
theme
time.
for
So
now.
stay tuned.
I feel like he might be
Cool.
playable.
And then lastly, question from Sykin on Twitter. What is the team most excited about within the Low Key Key expansion?
For me, having a new space to play in is incredible. There's a lot of really interesting new places around here to have a good fight or to do some awesome platforming. But my favorite change is actually just the bailout stuff. Being able to do these really fast dodges, out of some of these charge moves and stuff, just feels incredible. Makes the game feel a lot snappier and gives me more ways to use my stamina to make my opponent make a mistake, try to force a mistake. I'm a big fan of that. Let's see what a 10-arm super does these days, huh? 1073 with 10 arms.
And he has
That's a
10
significant
arms
decrease.
on him.
Thank you.
What's your
God,
favorite
that
change?
fucking Super got knocked down.
I also really like that change. It feels and looks so good
Now
with that
people are gonna
X
actually have to
VFX.
play
I
People
also
are gonna
really
actually
like
have
how
to not grab
the
like 10 arms
blocking
and think
just
that they're
feels
fucking,
it just
they're
feels so
god
much more
tier.
responsive. Where
Oh yeah. It used to be a quarter second. Letting go of block would be a quarter second long, and now it's vastly shorter than that. So you're out of block once you let go, like almost instantly.
all the gameplay quality of life stuff feels just so much better. And on top of that, I'd
And the only people
probably
are
say
like,
the Edge
oh,
family
man,
moves.
fucking everybody's like, man, I don't like
love
that.
taking people to the edge of the water and then throwing them in.
Yeah, super fun.
Everybody just wants
Okay,
fucking-
I
everybody
think if
just
we don't
wants to
have
go
anything
10
else, we
arms,
can
like,
close
all
out the
all
show.
day.
Deej,
And
you
it's
want to take
like,
us out?
No, play the game to its fullest.
Maybe. He might be muted or gone. Who knows? All right. Well, I'll sign us out.
No
Thanks for
more fear of
joining us.
missing out for not going for
This
all
has been your
reds.
first look at season 2. There will be
I
more
love that
content coming to
quote. That
you,
was good.
throughout the season.
Exactly.
Please
dude.
enjoy
no
your
more
holidays
FOMO for
season,
not going
and
at 10
hopefully
reds.
you
Yeah,
spend some of that
exactly.
time with us, throwing down on Low Key Key.
See you
we'll
all on
talk to
Low
you
Key
later.
Key tomorrow. Thanks everyone.
Absolutely.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Oh my god. What's up, breakfast?
Oh, I don't have any. I have nothing to cook.
Oh,
I have steak.
I thought we were gonna go get. Then we gotta wait like fucking.
I have to wait.
Well, they're not gonna fucking deliver until like the day.
End it too if it's already like 12.
No, even then, that's
11:30.
like. It's like at least.
It's Monday too. I chose the worst day.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go eat breakfast.